By the way, I just had Ancestry.com and I had a few surprises in there. A few surprises. A lot of questions for mom. A lot of questions. You know what we're going to talk about today is the misconception that only fat people get sleep apnea. You think it's true? Stick around. Before we get started, I'm going to cover one little thing. Why I have two fingers up? I don't know. One little thing. If you want to donate to us or help us out because we're putting out videos and you enjoy them or they're helpful or whatever, you can do that in a couple simple ways, and those ways are in the description box below. One of those ways, which is the quickest and the easiest, is if you shop Amazon. I have a link below. It is an affiliate link, and if you click on it, you can buy whatever the hell you want, and I get a little referral fee. You don't pay anymore, and I get a little palm grease there that I really like and my wife likes even more. And there's another thing that you can do, and this is gonna tie in. Sponsor me on patreon.com/freesleepapnea.com, I think, I'm not sure. I have a link though. Why did I bring that up? Because one of my patrons, or Patreons, whatever you call them, wrote a very nice message to me. It was complimentary, but it also highlighted a really important concept, and that being, do only fat people get sleep apnea? So Heather writes, I always thought sleep apnea was a completely non-subject for me. I always assumed it was something that overweight people had, or people with a sedentary lifestyle and smokers. I never associated it with myself. As a professional ballet dancer, I exercise really vigorously, probably overdoing it every day except Sunday. I have never been overweight, and I have an extremely strong cardiovascular system, and I've never smoked. However, I do have high blood pressure, and I was becoming increasingly tired during the day. So much so that I fell asleep while having a short conversation on the phone. If I sat down for a few minutes, especially after eating, I would get this overwhelming need to close my eyes and sleep. I went to see my doctor, and wow, was I stunned. Sleep apnea. No way, not me. I got on board pretty fast, even though I wanted nothing to do with any part of it. But even more than that, I needed to start researching this thing fast. So what she basically says after that is she compliments my website and all the videos for helping her out and getting her through it in a concise way, easy to digest. So that's very interesting what she says, and I'm guilty of this exact same thing in the past. In the past, I always thought it was, you're obese. Obese people have sleep apnea because they're obese, they have fat necks, and that all just crowds the airway. No breathing for them. That's not entirely true. So there's been times in the sleep lab where you kind of, you see someone's demographics, or you see them and you're like, oh, this person's skinny, they're muscular, no way they're gonna have sleep apnea. And they will have it just as bad as the worst person you've ever seen. On the flip side, you'll see people that are pretty obese. Their BMI is really high, they have the apple or pear-shaped bodies, really large necks, and they won't have sleep apnea. Now that's more the exception than the rule, but I'm just saying the only way to really know is to get tested. So how would a skinny person even have sleep apnea? Does that even make sense for a skinny person to have it? Absolutely. You have to know the ways that sleep apnea can occur. And a lot of these have absolutely nothing to do with weight, though they can contribute. So if you have an extra large neck, that is going to put a little more pressure on your upper airway. It can crowd the airway, but you can have your jaw that slides back into the airway, has nothing to do with weight. You can have a larger tongue than normal, has nothing to do with weight. You can have a soft palate that is saggy and droopy. It can have something to do with weight, but not necessarily. You can have an enlarged uvula. Again, nothing to do with weight. Your upper airway can just be much smaller than normal. Nothing to do with weight, or it can have something to do with weight. Those are some of the ways that weight has absolutely nothing to do with. Sure, weight can be a contributing factor to that, but not necessarily all the time. A lot of it is simply genetics, the anatomy that you receive, that you inherited from your mom and dad. By the way, I just had Ancestry.com and I had a few surprises in there. A few surprises. A lot of questions for mom. A lot of questions. A few very simple ways to see if you have sleep apnea, or even, is this even worth discussing with my physician? Do you have memory concentration problems? Do you snore? Do you have witnessed apnea by a bed partner? Are you excessively tired during the day, otherwise known as daytime somnolence? Just real simple things like that. A lot of this stuff really points in the direction of, sleep apnea is absolutely a very high probability for you. So don't go by your weight, whether it's small, whether it's high. You can go by a lot of other things. Hey, on that note, if you're looking for a little extra movement in your life, I just discovered pickleball. Pickleball is, you might know it as miniature tennis with a wiffle ball being played. So my buddy and I entered a tournament we've never played before, and we ended up getting second place. And we lost to a couple of guys that we thought had no business being on the court with us. One of them, I don't think, ever bent his knees, and the other guy was kind of like Lurch. He's kind of like Lurch from the Munsters. But he did spike one in my face, so kudos to him. So a lot of times I like to tell people ways, just simple ways to get moving. So a lot of times just getting in the water, getting in the pool, because it takes weight off your knees, and if you need to move around, it makes it easy for you. Also the water sucking a bunch of energy out of you, and so I think it's just a good way to burn calories. But pickleball was another really fun way. There are a lot of people out there that you look at and you're like, athleticism, no way. So they're out there, my buddy and I were sweating our butts off, and these other people, they're moderately sweating, but a lot of technique in there. But it was just cool to see a lot of people out there that you wouldn't expect, since we're talking about misconceptions. A lot of people that were, up there in age. Some of them were up there in weight, but they were all having a good time. Super nice people, had a great time. So I just want to throw that out there since this is a short video, and I want to lengthen the crap out of it. All right, hey, if you like this video, go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to our channel. We have all kinds of worthless crap, and every now and then we hit one out of the park.